Not every film can be Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we take divisive, beloved, hated, garbage, beautiful films and we give them a second chance, see how they hold up today, if we still agree with our feelings from the first time seeing them. We are talking about the one and only Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love. Oh my. This is so this wasn't my second chance to watch this. This was my absolute first chance.
Okay.
Mhm.
This kind of was my first chance. Okay, so like backstory real quick. I used to be in love with the Olsen twins, straight to VHS movies.
I just want to pause right there. I don't know how these are going to connect.
They will in a second. You'll find out. You will find out. So I don't know if you're aware, Joe. It doesn't sound like you are, but
I'm aware of the Olsen twins and their VHS tapes.
Okay, but when they got a little older, they started to do these like travel movies. Like they go to Australia, they go somewhere else. They go to like 4 different like places in Passport to Paris. Wait, no, it wouldn't have been Passport to Paris. It would have been when they were in London, and I don't remember the name of that movie, but they go to London for some sort of like math competition or some shit. I don't know. They're in London. I can't remember the London movie's name. All their names were really strange.
Takes Two.
It Takes Two. No, that's the Kirstie Alley movie. How dare you?
Yeah, I know. Steve Guttenberg
movie. I cannot. I see the poster in my
New York Minute.
No. Although that's a movie we should watch for this podcast because that is a fucking time.
Oof.
London. I cannot remember. Are you looking it up?
This is a great story you're telling. I'm looking at all their movies. Yeah, I sure am.
What's
Full
the
House?
London
Are you talking about Full House?
No. Okay, the London.
Oh, the Case of the Volcano Mystery.
Stop it! No, they're teens. And they're holding onto a London pole, like, yeah, we're in London. That's the poster. And they're wearing like
it might be Passport to Paris.
They're
pretty young.
No.
When in Rome?
No, they're in London.
Oh, I'll figure it out. It doesn't look like any of these things.
Oh my god.
License to Drive?
No.
Mary-Kate and Ashley in Action? Getting There.
No, that's where they go to the Olympics.
Holiday in the Sun.
No, that's when they're in like.
I'm just letting you know this.
Winning. I found it.
Our lips are sealed.
I found it, and the poster is exactly how I remember it. Oh my god.
Billboard Dad?
Stop. I figured it out. It's called Winning London because they go there, like I said, for some sort of like math competition or like whatever. Anyway. So they're like touring London and they just happen to go to the Globe Theater, and one of the twins is like with this like guy that she's kind of like flirty with, and she like gets on the theater at the Globe Theater, and he's like, did you know that women weren't allowed on stage back in the day? And she goes, well, obviously you haven't seen Shakespeare in Love. And so
how old is she when she made that movie?
I don't know, like 15, 14.
Why did she watch that movie at that age? She
shouldn't have watched that movie at that age. But anyway, so that's where I first understood that Shakespeare in Love was in the zeitgeist of the time, okay? And ever since then, I was like intrigued by Shakespeare in Love because it had the Olsen twins stamp of approval, okay? So then like fast forward to like maybe like 10 years later, I am guessing I'm like in film school probably, and I'm like, oh yeah, Shakespeare in Love. I've heard that's great from the Olsen twins, and it's a Academy Award winning movie. Let's give this a go. I put it on, and I am bored out of my mind. And I don't think I finished it. I either fell asleep or just straight up turned it off. So technically this is like my first half viewing, like second-ish viewing. First time watching the full movie.
This is my give it a chance at all. It's been 20 years since that movie released, and I think just because like there's a lot of controversy over this Oscar win, because everyone's like favored to win was Saving Private Ryan. It's an epic war movie, really great, as I assume most people know, because a lot of people have seen that and thought it should be the winner of Best Picture. And from what we've heard years throughout the years is that scumbag producer Harvey Weinstein just pushed so heavily for that movie to win, like I don't know, bribes or just threatening, even like just bad mouthing Saving Private Ryan, saying like, it's only good in the first 15 minutes. Well, you know what? No, all of Saving Private Ryan is good. That always made me not ever want to go see Shakespeare in Love. I also not a huge fan of period pieces, so that kind of made me skeptical about it. But I did a lot of high school theater and learned a lot of Shakespeare, so I probably could have watched it for that reason, but I was just turned off by the whole idea of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Weinstein definitely has a really dark background with this story. So I don't think that affected my viewing this time, but just knowing it, it was like, this is gross. There's a documentary on Hulu, if you have access to Hulu, that's called Untouchable. And it's about not only Weinstein's crimes, but how he rose to the level of power to get away with it. And in it, they talk about how he pretty much changed the game on how you campaign for movies to win awards, and this is a case right here. So if you want to learn more about that, it's gross and disgusting, but it is a part of cinema history, unfortunately. And because of that scumbag, now Shakespeare in Love is a Best Picture winning movie.
You know what? It's sad it's not a Best Picture winner.
Saving Private Ryan.
How the West Was Fun.
What the fuck is that? Oh, it's a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. It's Olsen twin movie. I remember that one. I do. Oh, God.
There's a Texan, anything with a cowboy or cowgirl in it, I'm down.
I think they had to go to their like grandma's ranch, or I'm confusing that with the.
This is not the Mary-Kate and Ashley podcast, but when Jessica and I decided to start our Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen marathon, yeah.
Oh my God!
That'll be a separate podcast.
Spin-off series. We don't need to give them a second chance. It's like a pleasure. It's like our honor.
Recap
to watch them again.
If we could find them all. I'm sure they're only on VHS.
No, they are on Apple TV now, but you have to pay to rent them.
Boo.
Yeah.
This episode has gotten super sidetracked.
Sidetracked.
We're going to have to edit a lot of this.
We're not, because I would rather talk about Olsen twins movies than Shakespeare in Love.
Anyway,
Truly.
Shakespeare in Love, apparently mentioned in one Olsen movies, and it is sidetracked all of it. Jessica's mind couldn't get off of that. All right, so for those of you who do not know or have not seen Shakespeare in Love, spoiler warning, we're going to be talking about this movie. Maybe in depth, but we're definitely going to give away big plot points. But the movie is over 20 years old, so if you haven't seen it, tough.
And
We're gonna talk about
honestly,
it.
our recap of it, I promise you, is going to be way more exciting than the movie itself. So if you haven't seen it, just listen to us.
The summary of this movie: the world's greatest ever playwright, William Shakespeare, is a young, out of ideas and short of cash, but meets his ideal woman and is inspired to write one of his most famous plays.
Oh, beautiful.
Was that a good one? How would you describe this movie?
I would summarize this movie actually not through Shakespeare's perspective. I would say a rich, bored woman who loves the theater decides, hey, I want to try this acting thing out, even though women can't. So I'm gonna just get into male drag and give it a go. And while that happens, she just so happens to fall in love with William Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's the other half of the movie. Is one half is Shakespeare trying to figure out writing a play, and then there's a woman that wants to be an actor, and they don't allow women on stage, and so the two paths collide. Every time I describe this movie, I just refer to it as that movie that somehow won Best Picture over Saving Private Ryan. And if I was to retitle this movie after watching this, I would call it Shakespeare in Lust. I don't feel any love in this movie. There's like no romance. It's just like they meet each other and like, we need to bang right now.
Yeah.
And there's no falling in love with each other or like flirting. It's just quick out of the gates. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
This was nominated for 13 Oscars, and it won 7, which I don't think is still the record. But it was an extreme record for that time in 1999. It's a lot. It was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which for Jeffrey Rush, which after watching that movie, I don't think I would have ever nominated him.
No.
Not to say that Jeffrey was not good. He's great, but I don't think there's any substance to this role.
No.
It's incredibly minor, and I feel like there's other supporting characters in this movie, or everyone's pretty minor except the main two.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nominated for Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, Best Makeup. But the ones that did win were Best Picture, which is insane. Best Actress, Gwyneth Paltrow. Best Supporting Actress, Judi Dench. Best Writing, Best Original Screenplay. Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Music. I will say it is impressive seeing everyone in not the music, whatever. It's just whatever. But the like art direction, the set of like the Globe or the Rose Theater, and the costume design, it's impressive. Because I think they would have gone against Private Ryan. I would have given art direction to Private Ryan because I think just like making it look like 1940s Europe and destroyed Europe is way more impressive. Best costumes, I probably would have given it to Shakespeare in Love just because I think it's Private Ryan's all just uniforms, whereas this is like lots of different varieties of clothes for like rich people, poor people in that time. And it's just kind of wild just to see it all.
I actually find the costumes to be incredibly basic.
I don't disagree with that. They're basic, but I mean, if we're giving it to that versus army uniforms,
Yeah, I don't know. I get like I've just seen a lot better costumes for period pieces. So for me,
I think they just saw like the Queen's outfit and they were like, "Oh, here we go." Also, it was probably Harvey like, "You better vote for my movie."
Yep. Did you see that Queen's costume though?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, but you only used it for like 3 minutes of the movie. Shut up. Jessica,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any reviews for this movie?
I'm so glad you asked because, of course, I have reviews for this movie. So, because critics be wildin', there was a lot of love from critics.
What did they say?
Okay,
What did
I'll
they say?
I'll tell you, because
What were people thinking 20 years ago?
okay, so Anthony Quinn from the Independent UK said, it almost defies you not to have fun. I
I don't know if I agree with that at all.
I didn't have fun at all. David Hunter from Hollywood Reporter said, in a little more than 2 hours, director John Madden, screenwriters Mark Norman and Tom Stoppard, and a terrific cast and crew accomplish the miraculous.
What was the miraculous?
What was it? People talking and doing stuff? I don't get it. I don't get it. James Christopher from Times UK wrote, there is plenty to be thrilled about. Like what? Like when the credits roll? Like when it's over? Like what is there to be thrilled about? I don't.
Oh,
They love it. They fucking love it, and I don't get it.
I don't understand like the absurd love for it.
The absurd love for it. Yeah, not even like I really liked this, but here was a flaw or two. It's just like this is movie. Like
this is
cinema. And it's not. Peter Burnett from film.com wrote, occasionally profound and frequently hilarious. I didn't laugh once in this movie, so okay.
I might have laughed, but not enough where I needed to take a note on what particular thing made me laugh.
No, I don't think I laughed once.
I did come away with it thinking, why was this considered a comedy?
Yeah.
It was like one of the it was like the first comedy to be awarded Best Picture since Annie Hall, and I thought Annie Hall's a comedy for sure. This is not.
No, and I mean we could have a whole fucking episode on how awards view comedies, but this I didn't walk away thinking like, yeah, that was a good comedy for the 90s. Like
what a knee slapper.
What a knee slapper. Not my sense of humor, but I see what they were doing. No. So even though the critics overwhelmingly just had so much passion for this movie, we still have a few negative reviews. Not everyone loved it.
Okay. I want to hear from the 3 people that didn't like that movie back in the day.
I actually have 4 people that didn't like the movie back in
the
day.
You found 4 people that badmouthed that movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, brave.
And are they still working in Hollywood, or did Weinstein fire them?
He murdered them. He straight up murdered them.
What an accusation.
Allegedly.
You heard it here on...
Allegedly.
Okay, good. Breaking news.
Okay, Amy Taubin from The Village Voice wrote, at first, the breakneck pace is entertaining. All these people knocking themselves out for our pleasure, but it soon becomes evident just how inane a film this is. So I didn't feel a breakneck pace, but okay, girl. But yeah, no, okay. Paul Teixeira from CNN wrote, I just wish that the script wasn't so insistent on showing off. Shakespeare, even when he kowtowed to the peasants, knew when to quit. Ooh, shots fired. At that best original screenplay. Martin Scribbs from Low IQ Canadian wrote, a nothing movie, gossamer thin, the slightest breeze will blow it from our collective memories. And guess what? Martin was right.
Yeah.
Martin was right.
Martin seemed like the only one who had sense back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to remember this movie in 20 years.
We're not. We're not.
There's better things out there than this. Have you guys seen that war movie that's out?
This is my favorite negative review, and it was actually written in 2000, so just a couple of years after the movie came out.
Okay.
This is my favorite.
Someone waited till after it got its award. Okay.
Okay, to be like, all right, I guess I'll check it out. I did watch Winning London, and they do reference it, so I guess I have to see it. Joe Blow from Joe Blow's Movie Network wrote.
I love that place.
the
It's
best,
the Golden Schmoes.
It's the best. He wrote, "Don't let the hype fool you, cause this puppy pees just like the rest of them."
Hell yeah. I don't know if that's a good compliment or an insult to the movie, but I love just that alliteration.
I think it was like, you know what? This is just what everything else is. Nothing special. Your dog pees, my dog pees. Your dog ain't special. That's how I interpret it.
Just a puppy pee in the wind.
That's my new favorite catchphrase. So thank you, Joe Blow. Love you. So, Joe, now that we've heard from other people's opinions of this movie, I think it's time to get into our own with our second chance of, well, first-ish, kind of, for you.
It was my first time watching this movie.
Your first time. It was my second attempt, so I guess second chance-ish of this movie. I've been really negative about this movie because, I don't like it. Shocker. But I will, to change up the pace just a little bit, I will say some things that I did like. Okay, just to balance it out.
Okay.
You're gonna be a little surprised by this, possibly.
I know what she's gonna talk about. I'm reading her mind now.
One thing I did like about this movie was Ben Affleck.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say it.
It finally happened. I appreciated him in a movie.
I'm telling you, he kills it when he's in the supporting roles. When he's take him in small doses, he's fucking great. He
seemed like, to me, the only one that was actually like having fun. Mm-hmm. I honestly, like, him and Judi Dench, those are the only two performances I like in this whole movie. Like, because they both seem to just like be having a go at it and like having fun. Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck, especially because he's playing such like an over the top kind of diva actor of the time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he just is exciting and silly. I guess that's where all the hilarity comes in. But yeah, I did actually really like Ben Affleck in this movie. I think that this role was good for him. I think, though, if anyone else had played it, it would have just been like a background character that like falls to the wayside. I think the energy he brought to it was just really fun. Something that I did not like in this movie, and that is this movie tells and doesn't show a lot, which is like the biggest no-no in filmmaking. It's a visual medium. You show, don't tell. This movie, opposite, tells, don't show. We hear a lot of things happening through character conversations. There's
a lot of exposition.
A lot of exposition. At one point, a character dies in a bar fight, but we don't see that. We hear about it from the other characters talking about it. And so it's like, that it doesn't feel like a big deal, and I'm still like, wait, who died? Which character died? I don't know.
Marlo.
I didn't see it though, so I don't.
But I was paying attention though.
I was paying attention too, but like it was like a cast full of a lot of white men that look the same. So I'm like, if I don't see who it is that died, I don't know.
That's also that's also a good moment, and it's really unfortunate they don't show us that. I have a show don't tell that really irritated me. Um, when there's one guy that's like, there's a woman on stage, like shame, and then he even like, oh, approve it, and he lifts up the male actor who's wearing the woman's outfit or being a woman, or he's playing the Viola Juliet part, right?
Yeah, yeah, Male's playing Juliet. Yeah.
They lift up his skirt. Show us that dick. Because like that would be hilarious if he's like, this is a woman, and then he just lifts it up, wide shot of like cover that guy's face. It's just like very much a dick there. And he's like, oh, that is not a woman. Like I wanted to. They show it like off screen or out of frame, and I'm just like, guys, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You have like Gwyneth topless this entire time, showing her nipples, shows guy's dick.
Yeah, equality. I have a little rant that contains something I like and that I don't like.
Okay.
Okay. So as we've talked about, the one of the plot points is that Viola, Gwyneth Paltrow's character, just wants to act, so she goes in male drag, gets on that stage, and she is the part of Romeo.
She's got a little mustache glued on.
It's
a
so
little
awkward.
goatee.
Oh my god, that male drag is like, yeah, uncomfortable to look at, in my opinion. So anyway,
But they won best makeup, so
Jesus
there's that.
Christ, fuck this movie. Oh my god.
Okay, go on. She's wearing the mustache
So
on stage.
she's wearing the drag, she's on stage, she's doing her actor thing.
Is this the audition?
I'm talking about just in general. Like just in
Okay.
general, she's
Sure.
she's acting.
Okay.
But I like the idea, because that is something notorious in history, that in stage houses women weren't allowed to act on stages. So I like the idea of making that into a story, but I do not like the execution of it in this film at all, because the stakes were never felt like this was a big deal. She could go to jail. The whole playhouse could be completely fucked. And so when Willie Boy finds out that she's cross-dressing to act, he's not like, well, shit, we gotta hide this. Like, okay, we really gotta fucking hide this, because like we all could go down. Like, it's just like, woman being a man, this is so cute. But like, really though, it's an incredibly, like, it could have been a very tense situation of like, we could get caught at any moment, and like someone could out us. But because it's, like you said, Shakespeare and lust, they don't give two shits. They're banging all the time. They're like, whatever.
They just start making out. So this is my biggest gripe with this movie about calling it Shakespeare in Love. I don't feel like there's any romance in this movie at all, because they get it off right to the start. And
yeah,
I feel like it happens way too quick, and then they bang all the time.
all the
And
time.
I'm just like, okay, there was no like romance to this.
Mm-mm.
It is fun seeing like moments of like him like talking up to the balcony. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that cliche from his play. But like, I'm fine with it. I'm just kind of like, oh cool, I get that, neat. But like, I feel like those moments would have been better had I like built up in their relationship, rather than just, I'm horny for her, I need to talk to her, who is this woman?
Yes. And two, like, if their love was felt, then there would have been, I think, even more powerful moments where she's pretending to be a man. Like, I love you so much that like I'm gonna protect you, and no one's ever gonna find out about this. Like, we're making a big risk, but I want you to act because I know you love to. So we're gonna take care of this. No, that doesn't happen. It's just like, hey, let's bang.
I think we feel more of like their romance connection, or at least the intensity when they're performing on stage, of like I feel like when she's Juliet and Willie Boy is Romeo, I think them on stage like wanting to be with each other whilst being good performers is a fun interaction. But like I haven't invested any of it in the beginning, so I don't really care as much now, but I feel like it would have made that moment even more intense.
Yeah. So my second part to my rant, the part I liked, the idea of a woman on stage wasn't
Yeah.
executed well. What I really, really don't like was the way in which she was outed. Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, so like we were saying, they were banging all the time, making out, didn't give a
All the
shit
time.
all the time. Like while other people are on stage, they're backstage. Like she's still in male drag. They're going at it. At one point, I think
That's also super irresponsible. While they're practicing this play, they're down below the floorboards and just
yeah,
making out heavily while she's in full like mustache.
yeah, you could get
Guys,
caught. Like what do you like?
calm down. You guys can wait like till after play rehearsals are over.
Right. So on that note, at some point, I think it might have been after the rehearsal was over. I don't remember. They go into like a costume room or something. They go into a room and they proceed to bang. What a shock. But she's in her male face and they're starting to go at it. And then we cut to a little boy looking in the window, seeing this happen. And
Fuck that kid.
he goes and he tells people like, oh my god, I just saw this. So when that happened, my first thoughts were they're gonna think Shakespeare is gay, and because it's a crime there, everyone's gonna lose their shit. And
I thought the same thing was gonna happen.
Because she looks like a man. Hello.
As she's dressed as the man. So that's another thing. There's a few Shakespeare plays where this kind of thing happens, where like they misgenderize people because they're dressed or he's dressed as a woman now, like, and so like I thought that was going to be a fun little like play on that with this, like I saw Shakespeare having sex with that man.
Right. I thought that's what they were going to go with it, and then he was going to be fucking in trouble and people would be pissed at him because of homophobia and religion, and then Gwen would have to out herself and be like, no, he wasn't having gay sex, he was having sex with me, and then rips her stupid little mustache off and is like, I'm a woman, guys. Like
that could have been a fun reveal.
That could have been a much better reveal, but instead somehow the kid seeing them bang, he automatically knew that's Viola and goes and tells someone, and then that person tells Colin Firth, who is set to marry her, and then he's pissed and tells the cops like, hey, there's a woman on stage, like shut this shit down. And it's like, wait a minute, what a roundabout way of outing her. Like I would have rather had her her outing be her power, like her choice, rather than just some curmudgeon man being like, you are a whore. And again, I don't get like why this roundabout way of like
I think it's just history, just hating women.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's so unfortunate that like above any and all things, if a woman is doing it, it's gonna be bad, and which is so dumb. Like, oh Jesus Christ.
I think there could have been a much more interesting way for her to take agency and reveal herself. To me, that would have been more compelling than just like cops busting in and being like, okay, well, we're shutting your theater down because there was a woman. So yeah, I didn't care for that.
They already shouldn't be performing. They already shouldn't be performing because there's a fucking plague happening.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be around each other anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So
historical accuracy, they would have been closed down.
While we're on the topic of that scene and the fact that there's a plague, there's that kid that's the spying is like petting fucking rats the entire time. And which is gross. But second of all, the fact that he's the rat is so on the nose, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ. Of course the kid petting the rat is the fucking snitch.
So one thing that's on
So,
my
oh, yeah.
dislike list is
Yeah.
that I do not like that in the third act, they're basically just giving us a Cliff Notes version of Romeo and Juliet. Like,
They really do.
I get it. I read it in high school, y'all. I know what happens. Like, and it goes on for like way too long. I think that like we didn't need to hit like every major point in Romeo and Juliet. Give us a couple scenes, give us Affleck dying, give us like the ending, and that's it. It went
I
on
think it's
for
more
too long.
I think it's more interesting throughout the movie just seeing like how he's inspired by their story, because like him trying to yell at catch her through the window is similar to the like balcony scene in the play. So like I don't need to see that in the play. You've shown it, like we all should have read it in high school
Right.
and should know it. Like I feel like there's very few people going into this movie not familiar with Romeo and Juliet the play.
Right. I do like that in this universe, the reason why he wrote that like Romeo and Juliet will kill themselves is because Viola is already promised to be married, and so they won't end up together. Oh, and sidebar, apparently William is married this whole time too.
Oh yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah. That's another tell don't show moment. They like one time someone's like, "Hey, how's your wife doing?" And Viola's like, "What? And then he's
So
like, "Yeah,
shocking.
yeah, I'm married, but like I don't even like her that much." Like
Yeah, she lives in somewhere else, and yeah.
like
Okay, dude. Like
again, just told us. Have her show up. Have her be like, "Hey, honey, how's the play
And-
going?"
on top of that, he was trying to woo someone else before. He goes to a therapist, and that therapist gives him like a snake bracelet. Write your name and put it in the bracelet, and then give it to the one you love. And the one he loves, who is, I think the play was initially written about, she's fucking some dude, and she was also married, but fucking a lot of people. It's very convoluted at that point. There's too many things happening. We only need him being in love with Viola.
Yeah.
And they didn't really fall in love. They were just like boning for each other.
Banging.
I did think it was funny that while they're having sex, they're just casually talking about the play.
They a lot. Yeah, they're like literally like, "Hey, what do you think of this line? Yeah, that sounds good." And then maybe we can follow it up with that. Like they literally it's like a cycle. They bang and then they are writing it while they bang, and then we see them rehearse what they wrote while they bang, and then they bang, and then they write stuff, and then we rehearse what they talked about when they banged. It's like,
so the movie is rated R for sexuality, and it's definitely just because they bang constantly. And which really we could edit to a point where they're not banging constantly, or just imply that they're banging, or they can snuggle or kiss or what have you, to be the romance. I don't know. The banging is just like, especially in 2021. It's just casual now, guys. Just have your fun. When they're not kissing while they're rehearsing, and she's like having to kiss the Romeo character, or she's kissing the Juliet character because she's practicing. Thomas is going to be Romeo. It looks like Will's just so jealous of the kissing. It's like, dude, you need to calm down. All it looks like is you want to kiss one of your lead actors. Like, so bad.
I know. And it's like, dude, this is your play. You wrote this. Like, it's acting, sir. But yeah, there's no subtlety.
Yeah, you knew that they were going to be kissing, and you cast her in it. So what are you upset about?
There's just no subtlety in this movie whatsoever at any point. And one more thing I'll say about it is that it definitely was too long. We could have taken like at least a half hour out of this thing and nothing would have changed. Like, just trim it and be done. So before we wrap things up, I made a little game, a little quiz game for Joe.
I love quizzes.
That's
and
great.
games.
Great. Two things you like. This is
I
great.
am jumping in my seat.
I wrote this as a way to spice things up because I find this movie and talking about this movie to be incredibly boring. So I thought, why not make a game out of it and just have some fun? So, Joe, are you ready?
Sure. Are these quiz questions based off the movie we watched, or facts about the movie, or just facts about Shakespeare?
Facts about the movie and then facts about what happens in the movie.
Oh,
Shakespeare's
yikes.
not really like in it. Sorry.
Damn, that was
sorry,
like the
Willy
one.
boy.
That was the 1/3 of the questions I probably would have aced on.
Is the Willy boy?
On Willy Boy questions, yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, there really aren't any Willy boy.
I don't care. I'm
questions
ready.
in
I
here.
love questions. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's see if my short-term memory is working.
Okay, so I'm gonna start you off with two softball questions. Just to ease you into this game, I'm gonna throw you an easy one, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Which cast member of Shakespeare in Love recently sold candles that supposedly smelled like their genitalia for $75?
Which cast member didn't do that? As much as I want to say Judi Dench, I'm pretty sure it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
It is Gwyneth Paltrow. Congratulations.
While we were watching the movie, I turned to the wife and said, "You know what would have made these love scenes a little bit better? The Gwyneth Paltrow candle."
Yeah, you would have paid $75 for that ambiance.
I just think it turns that movie into like 4D, where you can like smell what's happening on screen. And just give that movie the extra zhuzh that like, whoa, I did not know I needed this in the movie.
Well, maybe that's why it sold out upon launching, which it did. What does that say about us? I don't fucking know, society. Let's get it together.
I feel like it's just like it's like a weird flavor of ice cream. I have to taste it to see like, does it taste like this?
Mhm.
Oh, it does.
I'm
Yikes.
curious. Like, if I didn't have to pay $75, I would definitely smell it and see what's up. I am curious.
What's the amount you would pay to smell it?
Like $5 to get that candle.
I think at most $10 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Like,
It would be a gag gift,
What?
like, or like a silly, like, yeah, I got the
It would
the
be-
vagina candle.
it would be a gag gift for the entire like group of friends. Hey,
Mhm.
let's all throw in $1, get this candle, watch Shakespeare in Love, and let's talk through it. Let's do like a mystery science theater while smelling this candle.
I think Gwen missed like
That's how we
a
make-
major marketing opportunity when trying to sell this candle.
I just came up with the best way to watch this movie.
Damn.
Next question.
Next question, another softball question for you. Which cast member of Shakespeare in Love obviously loves Dunkin' Donuts?
Whoa, that's a fucking weird way to say it. Obviously loves Dunkin' Donuts.
Obviously loves Dunkin' Donuts.
Which cast member?
Are you really stumped?
Yeah, I don't know why I would obviously know that they like Dunkin' Donuts.
Which cast member of Shakespeare in Love obviously loves Dunkin' Donuts?
I would say probably Affleck.
Duh! Yes, of course yes. Not only does he have stock in it, he's from Boston area where Dunkin' rules the land, and he's constantly being shown carrying Dunkin' cups in paparazzi photos.
Okay, there you go.
Obvious.
All I thought of when you said that was his brother on SNL has a Dunkin' Donuts sketch.
That's another connection too. They love Dunkin'.
They sure do.
Okay, so this is where we're gonna get a little harder, get a little
Okay.
more random with it. Multi-Oscar nominated and very iconic actress once said about Gwyneth Paltrow's Best Actress win.
You said Oscar nominated?
Multi-Oscar nominated. She said, "I've never understood how you could honestly compare performances, I remember the year Gwyneth Paltrow won over that incredible actress who was in Central Station, and I thought, what? That doesn't make sense. Was it Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, Glenn Close, or Helen Mirren?
It's got to be Blanchett or Mirren. I don't think it was Blanchett because she was also nominated that year. It's got to be Mirren.
You're wrong. It was Glenn Close.
I feel like Glenn Close is such like a nice, chill person. Oh,
That's why
but
she's so chill that she's like, I don't care. That was fucking weird. Why did this happen? Also, multi-nominated. She's never fucking won an Oscar, and that is a travesty. Gwyneth Paltrow has an Oscar and Glenn Close doesn't. So here's a true or false question. Okay,
Ooh.
True or false? Hot mess of a royal, Prince Andrew, loved Shakespeare in Love so much that he begged his mom, Queen Elizabeth II, to change his royal title to Earl of Wessex as an homage to Colin Firth's character, Lord Wessex.
Fuck that guy. And that's probably true because fuck that guy.
It is true. He literally loved the movie so much he wanted his royal fucking title changed.
This is the same Prince Andrew that's like friends with Epstein.
Yep. So he's a mad, mad, crazy man. And yeah, the queen shot it down immediately. She was like, absolutely not. Stop being stupid. Stop hanging out with that Epstein fella, you fucking idiot.
Did you like, was your favorite character in this movie the villain?
What
Fuck
a psycho.
off, dude.
Prince Andrew sucks.
I want my name to be Rat Boy because he's the one that plays with the rats and like explode. Fuck off, dude. Ugh.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, I'm ready.
Gwyneth Paltrow's casting in this movie destroyed one of her friendships with a fellow actress. When Gwen was over at this friend's house, she saw the script, read it, then called her agent and demanded that she be given an audition. Who was this one-time friend? Was it Julia Roberts, Winona Ryder, Meg Ryan, or Demi Moore?
It's Winona.
Okay, it was Winona. Yeah, they were. I didn't know they were friends, but okay.
Neither did I. That was
No.
But I had read this story. I read that story like months ago before we even started talking about doing a podcast.
Really?
That, like they were like besties. From what I retained from that story, they were like good friends. She was over at her apartment, saw that script, and was like, "I want to be in this," and like took her to her agent.
Fuck Gwyneth Paltrow. That is like, girl, that's your best friend. You're gonna take money from your best friend?
That was shitty. Yeah.
Dame Judi Dench won Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the film. Approximately how much screen time did she have in this movie? Is it A, less than 20 minutes, B, less than 15 minutes, is it C, less than 10 minutes, or D, less than 5 minutes?
I think technically it's A, B, and C.
Technically.
I don't think it's under 5. I think it's like 6 to 8 minutes she's in.
It is less than 10 minutes that she's in this movie. So, okay, last question. In the movie, Colin Firth tells Gwyneth Paltrow that once they are married, they will be moving to Virginia, where he has a tobacco harvesting business. Does this place exist?
Does tobacco harvesting happen in Virginia? I don't think so, but you know what? Since all the other one of your answers have been yes, sure. There's a place he's going.
It is actually a no, because America wasn't colonized until 14 years after the movie takes place.
He does want to take her to America, right?
He says
Or
Virginia specific. He said no. He actually does specifically say we're gonna go to Virginia because I'm harvesting tobacco out there and we're gonna make a ton of money. But the caveat is Virginia didn't fucking exist then. So that's how this movie is historically inaccurate, is that they didn't even search when America was colonized. So no, it doesn't exist in real life, and it didn't exist in the time of this movie. So fuck Shakespeare in Love. And that best screenplay win. Get out of here with that.
On that note, Jessica, do you give this movie a second chance?
You might be surprised to hear this. but I do not think this movie deserves
Oh,
a second chance.
Oh my god. I thought I was really going to be surprised for a minute. So
Yes.
no second chance for you, huh?
No second chance. If you haven't seen it, don't even give it a first chance. No, it doesn't hold up. It's not one that is going to stay in our, cinema zeitgeist for till the end of time. It's not. It's just boring as hell. It truly is boring as hell, and not much going on for it except for Ben Affleck. And honestly, just go watch Mallrats instead. So no, absolutely not. No second chance. Did not deserve it. Just no.
So my answer might surprise you.
Oh
I say give it a second chance.
no.
Or mostly a first chance. For so long I've been shitting on this movie for not even seeing it. It in no way compares to Saving Private Ryan. I always think that's far more deserving. I don't think this stands the test of time. It is a fun little just like one of those like movies. I'm just like angry throughout all of it. Like, how is this better? And as someone who grew up learning and studying a lot of Shakespeare, it was neat seeing all the connections in the movie. I didn't hate it. The first like hour is so fucking boring. But once they start like getting into like practicing the play and doing it, I was on board. I was fine with it. It didn't wow me, but like I also didn't hate it. If you've waited 20 years and you haven't seen it, no rush. You can keep waiting.
Yeah. Put other movies towards the top of the list.
There's so many other things to watch, but you know what? This I'm rating it as I'm okay with giving it a second chance because it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. My bar was also so fucking low. Like so low for this movie.
As always, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Second Chance Movies. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Obviously, you know that because you're listening to it right now. And you can also find us on YouTube. Until then, bye, I guess. I don't know how to... Parting is such sweet sorrow that I don't know how to say goodbye.
A plague on both of your houses.
Second chance